Here we go. Let me test, make sure we have sound, testing, we have lights, action. Thank you, Holy Ones, for coming together with me tonight. As we talk about fallen angels, which is prevalent in our world, not just the spiritual world, but on earth. And so this is something that we find in these Emerald Order teachings, talking about this as a big deal, as something that's very serious. I didn't grab my charcoal. All right, so here's a charcoal disc. Thanks, you guys. Let me just want to have this going right in the background, especially on topics kind of like this. So there's a lot of different ideas about what are fallen angels, and it's interesting because I see videos that reference the Bible and make videos saying, hey, this is what angels really look like according to the Bible. So they're getting a distortion from a distortion. That isn't what angels really look like. Neither, which is some strange, bizarre looking, if you've seen some of these pictures, it doesn't even look like anything really, just some strange looking, odd looking combination of creature like thing, kind of like John Carpenter's The Thing. That's not what angels look like, or fallen angels either. Angels or fallen angels. So let me put down this last incense so I can talk. All right. Cleanse and protecting the space with frankincense, copal, gold copal, white copal, benzoin, amber, machiwa. So this is if you go and look on Google, and let me see, fallen angels. And you will get some ideas, some depictions of fallen angels. But this is kind of like what I want to exhibit. Let me go to Photoshop and show you what I see in the search engine when you go to find out what is a fallen angel. So let's see what the mainstream thinks or believes what is a fallen angel and what a fallen angel looks like. What's their portrayal of a fallen angel, right? So this is the first one that I get, one of the first ones. Human looking. Human legs and arms and face. The only difference is that it has wings on the back, right? I mean, this is sort of basically what most people think is an angel or fallen angel, or just angels in general. They kind of look like humans. And you'll have statues of angels and or just things that aren't very detailed, like just a Here's another one. Just something like this, like some idea, but not an exact portrayal. You're not getting much data out of this. Except for, once again, they stick wings on the back. Now, if you do the same kind of search, you go, what do angels really look like? Okay, so we're talking about here. Let me go back to this. This is what people come up with after they see what. First of all, does that look like it's a benevolent thing? Does it look like something you connect to? Does it look like something that is a God's, you could say, God's messenger? Let me find another one. This is what biblical accurate angels look like from Christianity.com, no less. Here's another example of what supposedly real angels look like. Okay, so you have the regular way. I mean, this is what most people are going to say what angels or fallen angels look like. But then you get this strange looking, well, that one too. But you get these strange looking ones. Oh, this is what angels really look like. You guys, this is not what either angel or fallen angels look like. They're not just some bizarre looking mass, surreal type of imagery. They're an actual physical form that you can say is humanoid or, with arms and legs, a head and eyes and mouth. But they don't look human. They're not from our world. Our world has specific biology and DNA templates. You can see what comes out of Earth. We live here. We see what comes from Earth. You're not going to get the same appearances, the same type of beings from other worlds, whatever that may be, even just in our solar system. Like Venus, Mars, people say there's life there. Some people do. They're not going to look like us. They're not going to look human looking, with the smooth skin and recognizable features. They will look like aliens, you guys, because they are aliens. And then people who are strong in religion are going to say fallen angels are ETs or demons. Or no, they'll say the opposite. Wait a second. Yeah, an extraterrestrial, they'll say an alien is a demon. No. The extraterrestrial is what you're calling a demon. They are ETs. They don't look anything like what the Renaissance paintings show you. Like a typical, here, let's show some typical. I don't know if I can show. Yeah, I think I can. I don't need to copy and paste into Photoshop. That's taking too long. So let me see how to. I think this is it. Yeah, I can do this. Okay. This will be a lot easier. So what do Renaissance paintings? Let's do that. Renaissance. Renaissance art. See, this is what, it's a clownish. It's really clownish. People think this is what angels look like, much less, fallen angels or whatever angels. You notice they're just looking like humans with wings on the back. This is the fairy tale that we give ourselves or we accept. This is what angels look like. No, they do not look like this. This is not what angels look like. They're not from our world. So why would they dress like us? Why would they look like us? They don't. It's a fallacy. It's a lie. Okay? There's one thing we do agree with. They're not from this world. So keep that in your mind. Okay, so angels are not from this world. Fallen angels are not from this world. Why would they even look remotely like us? They don't. They look like aliens because they're from alien worlds. They're from other worlds, other dimensions, other universes. Because there is multiple dimensions, there's multiple universes. We live in a multiverse. Humans look like humans. On other planets, they have a completely different appearance. Now, you can get hybrids of humans that look somewhat like us, but they're going to look, part of their face, part of their body will look extraterrestrial. So you could call them humanoid looking, but not human, not like, specifically like an earthling. And so, like, you could say we know from the teachings and from secret space program information that there is humans on Mars. Okay? And some of those sources say that we're enslaved in Mars. We're not the ones in power or the ones in control. There's some other forces in control of the planet Mars. But some people even have memories of Mars. I remember Carrie Cassidy did this interview with this young Russian boy. And you can still find that interview, or you can even just find interviews about this boy in general. He remembered his life on Mars, and he talked about it in great detail. So there is our reality, okay? And it's not what we find out or discover or taught in mainstream science. Reality is more closely like quantum physicists say, that there's nothing solid. There's nothing that's actually physical, solid. It's the illusion of physicality. I mean, if you look in, supposedly what makes up our particles are atoms and molecules, and then atoms, subatomic particles. Well, most of those have so much space inside them. You got the electron spinning around the neutron, proton, all that. But the whole unit, most of it is made of empty space. So if all these empty particles are what make up physical particles, nothing is physical. It's all you would say, it's not solid. Okay? We're talking about spiritual beings in different levels of density matter. So there's not just carbon matter. So we have many different, you would say, evolutions of matter. We have this matter, but we have carbon etheric matter, and then we have etheric matter, we have liquid light, pre-matter, and then we have antimatter. So those alien beings, fallen angels or angels, could be any level of these matter forms. There are some fallen angels who are carbon etheric matter. They would be like ghost-like to us. They would appear that way. And so you have beings that are, wait, let me make sure we're okay. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. So we have I put in the video name 9 fallen angel races revealed. So honestly, there's a lot more than 9. I just put a number to create a video YouTube title. So, and they're not all specifically one type of alien like the Anunnaki or reptilians. There's different fallen angel races. They all have their own planets, their own origins, their own agendas, and we will even talk about some of those tonight, or we'll show them on the screen. And they're heavily involved, like the ones talked about in these Voyagers books. They're heavily involved in the human drama. I mean, they're the ones who created the human drama. Their problems they brought to us because they existed way before the human race was created. So these fallen angels are super, super ancient. We're ancient because we're 560 million years old, the human race is. You guys, these fallen angels are literally 250 billion years old. So they fell, and they had something called the Lyran Elohim Wars. And that's what happened with some of the guardian races falling and creating the phantom matrix, what religions call hell, or the Greeks call Hades, the lake of fire by Christians. But the guardians don't use those terms. They call it the phantom matrix. Just like we have particum matrix and particle matrix, particle, antiparticle. We have a phantom matrix. And so this is described as a subtime space distortion field. It's an anomaly. It's not natural. It came after creation, because this all happened. This whole entire time matrix was created 950 billion years ago. So the fallen angels are only 250 billion years old. You see the difference. So I just want to point out, as I say that, this goes to show how a lot of people believing in this Gnostic concept of the demiurge, that it's part of creation. No, it's not. According to these teachings, it's an anomaly. Darkness is an anomaly. And it didn't exist always. It existed way later, after the life fields were all populated and created and developing. We all got along together, you guys, in unity. We were all following the sacred universal law of one, which is God's original intention here. This time matrix had a specific intention. I mean, the fact of it is that the guardians, the original guardians who populated it, who created all the planets and the races, they made an emerald covenant. They all signed it, so to speak. They all agreed to the emerald covenant, that this would be a place of love and co-creation. Fallen angels don't follow that creed. They go against it. They try to dominate other life, control, manipulate other life, kill, torture, sacrifice other life. They went into anti-God principles. They're following a path of chaos. This is what fallen angels' agendas are. Chaos. They don't want order, because that's what the guardians follow, the path of order. They want to be the opposite of order, which is chaos. And so these fallen beings that don't look like you see pictures of, because that's your program. You're being programmed. That's mind control. This is what an angel looks like. This is what a fallen angel looks like. This video and many of these videos are exposing that false concepts. Think of it, you guys. Even the religions describe these beings as coming from other world, another level. They say heaven. What is heaven? It's not here. It's somewhere else. But there's more than just heaven, a world being called heaven. There's many worlds. And so a lot of these beings are coming from different worlds, different dimensions. And according to the teachings, and I've even heard Ashana say it many times, that most of our interactions with angels and fallen angels are coming from the second universe. We're in the first one, the lowest one. Density universe 1, or holographic universe. These beings are coming from, most of them are coming from the second harmonic universe, density universe. We're in carbon universe. They're in crystal carbon, or you could say carbon etheric. So they're much more evolved. And there's actually humans in density universe 2 who are much more evolved. They're immortal. They're giants compared to us 5-footers, 6-footers. We got some 4-footers. So imagine looking up at a 15-foot human. Okay? So this is where we really are coming from. This is part of what we are. So that's our heritage that we want to reclaim while we're trying to do spiritual awakening and ascension. And if you do ascend into the 4th, 5th, or 6th dimension, you will be a 12-footer, 15-footer, in a perfect immortal body. And you won't be going through a birth process. You won't be going through, you won't be eating. You'll just be breathing in air as your sustenance. And so just like there's atomic life, animal and plant life, and human life, you see that spectrum of life. Total different. Subatomic is totally different than plant life, which is totally different than animal life, which is totally different than human life. It's the same thing in density 2. Astral beings are totally different than archetype beings, who are completely different than celestial angelic beings. There's another whole spectrum of life. Just like we have all of our life together, they're going to have 4th, 5th, 6th dimensional life in their universe. So it's very interesting how this is broken down in the context of creation. And this is how we really understand. You see those pictures in Google. Is that following creation mechanics? Whether it's human angel-looking beings or looking like these bizarre, strange mixture of beings, neither one of those follow creation mechanics. Every life form has a DNA template. Okay? This is based on our distorted DNA template. And then we have alien life on their own planet and DNA template. Just like we're intimately connected to Earth, well, they're going to be intimately connected to the Orion planet, the Alcyon planet, some Andromedan planet, who has their own life, plant life, and own animal life. And if we're talking about higher density worlds, well, these DNA templates are going to be higher density, more template, more possibilities. Sister Star Princess, woohoo! Thank you, Star Sister, for supporting this work. And she also made a message. See, I knew not to trust pictures of a dude with wings. Lots of laugh. Good evening, crew. Thank you, Syrian Star Princess. Bless you, sister, for that exchange of energy. And yeah, you guys, it is disempowering. Okay? When our concepts of God are manipulated and distorted, our concepts of angels are manipulated and distorted. Now you don't know truth. Now you're following hoaxes and lies and programs of fallen angels. They're the ones bringing these, propaganda, their propaganda, to fool you, trick you. Now you forget who you are. You don't know what angels and God is. You don't know who you are. So their scheme is working. And so it's also misunderstanding when you interact with aliens, even in the dream state or whatever, you thinking it's one of these spirit beings or demons that you learned from church or learned from Google. You see how it disempowers you. Now you don't have solutions to whatever problems you're having, because you can't identify the problem when your ideas are distorted. When your ideas are distorted, interacting with a fallen angel, how in the world do you know what to do about it? Right? Unless you know, okay, this is an alien extraterrestrial that's against humans, against us, against our spiritual awakening, that empowers you and you can do something about it. When you got them looking like humans, what can you do about that? When you think that fallen angels is some dude named Lucifer and he's fallen with a group of angels, how does that help you? How about now you understand that there's several different races, more than 9 fallen angelic races, who are aggressively influencing, manipulating, distorting our planet and our people. This is where spiritual awakening comes in. This is where you will understand that you will need healing. This is something that the love, light, and clueless doesn't know. They only know love and light. They have no information about the fallen angels because they just choose not to think about it. That's cluelessness. We're love, light, and informed. We informed ourselves about these fallen angels like we're doing tonight, talking about them, pointing our finger at them. Look, that's what a fallen angel is. That's what a fallen angel looks like. And I will be showing you guys many pictures of what actual fallen angels look like. And by the way, this is confirmed. You don't just have to take your brother Anuhazi's word for it. This is confirmed by other starseeds, other indigos, other awakening humans and angelic humans are having these experiences and they see. They have witness and testimony of what they look like. They do not look like those Renaissance paintings. They do not look like these bizarre looking real angels look like in the Bible. Okay? Oh, all of us can collaborate and say, BS, that's not what angels and archangels look like. That's not what they are. This is what they are. And they have a race, and they have a planet, they have a DNA template, they have an agenda. Now you know their agendas, you know their schemes, you know what they're doing, you know all these characters in history. Oh, that was a fallen angel. Thoth was a fallen angel. Enoch, oh, there's another fallen angel. Oh, Michael, that's not an angel, that's an archdemon. Okay, now you have tools. Now you have answers to these dilemmas. While the church is going to say you need an exorcism, well, you actually know specific energy techniques. You will exorcise whatever you need to with your own self. No priest, no holy water, no cross, crucifixion. You see how distorted, twisted all that is, right? So you do it with your consciousness. You're having a demon problem, brother, sister. You're having fallen angel problems. You're having scary dreams. You go on plant medicine and have scary, dark shit show up. Well, you aren't getting solutions from New Age or religion. You want to understand these beings? Find out what they really are. Tonight's topic, sourced by the Voyagers and Inroad Order video workshop series. I'm not making stuff up. This is actually part of a huge tome of spiritual knowledge. Let's find out and talk about what really are fallen angels. Machiwa, Holy Ones, thank you for being here with us tonight. And we can agree to disagree. If you want to disagree on something, you can put that in chat, but be mindful, be respectful. We have moderators here. So you're not disrespectful. Machiwa. Hydrate myself. And also, when you look at those little silly pictures of angels and fallen angels, it doesn't make it serious for you now. Now it's not so serious. So let me show you what an actual angel is, and we'll see like how serious this is. Galleries. How about the Dracon? Or either Odedicron or Omicron. Probably Odedicron. And these are some of my older AI art, you guys, so it's not as great as some of my newer stuff, but it still gets the job done. Actually, let me switch this over to Photoshop. Properties and change to Photoshop. And open them. Let's check out, I don't know, this one. There's a fallen angel for you. Notice it doesn't look like Michelangelo's depiction or some other simple artwork you see of a fallen angel. You get a realistic depiction of what really is showing up in your light body, in your biofields, in your channeling. You channeling, well, this is what's, or you see this in other people's biofields. This is what you would call a reptilian or dragon type of fallen angel. Like I said, there's 9 different races, right? Well, this is specifically what I'm showing you right now is the Odedicron fallen angelic race. And it's not just me saying it, but you'll see other people talking about these beings and what they look like. Now let me go back, back. Does it look like this again? Huh? Do you still think it looks like this or this? Right? I mean, this is what people think. No, they look different, or they look like gargoyles, or they look like devils, or they look like scary looking creatures that represent truly their consciousness. Their body form is reflecting their consciousness. And vice versa. Their consciousness will reflect the body will reflect the mind. And these are all looking similar because I told you this is the Odedicron race. This is one of the fallen angel races. They're called Odedicron. And this is actually the DNA that gargoyles, an actual ET race called gargoyles by the Guardians, they came out of the Odedicrons, which are these are winged reptilians. And these beings are diabolical, man. They hate you, they hate Earth, they hate God, they hate all life. They want to control and manipulate life. I already showed that one. Okay? This is where we get our myths, our stories, what people may call fantasy, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or stories about demons and fallen angels. They're all coming from these extraterrestrial races. This is a main theme in tonight's topic. These are actually aliens. They will have their own planet. They will have their own DNA. They will have their own agenda. They have their own culture, their own people, their own lifespans, their own exploration of the universe. Holy shit. I'm not showing it. I was showing you pictures, guys. Are you saying I didn't show you any pictures? Wait, I must have... let me see if I can... I gotta turn off my sound. That bugs me as a Virgo. It's not going to show me the past. Wait. What the shit? Can someone answer me in chat? Did you guys see any of those pictures I was showing you? Please, someone answer. Nothing? Oh, wow. Okay, guys, thank you. I look stupid showing you pictures, and I'm not even... Jumbo Johnson, yes, Anunnaki are definitely a hardcore fallen angelic race, and we'll be talking about them. So sorry, guys. Forking A. Did I even show you the Google images? Ugh. All I can do is go back. Windows. Okay, so let me go back and make sure it's showing the images. Okay, Photoshop. It's showing this time. I see it for sure this time. All right, so this is what most people see as angels, looking like humans, except for wings. Another concept which isn't very detailed. You just get, and this is what people say what supposed real angels look like, according to descriptions in the Bible. They're both wrong. This is not what angels look like. This is not what angels look like. This is what angels look like. Okay? This is a reflection of their consciousness. A reflection of their body becomes a reflection of their consciousness. Their consciousness will show up in their body. You see what I'm saying? What happens to the body happens to the consciousness. What happens to the consciousness happens to the body. This is why we're being attacked by our mind, brain, or, mind control. So it affects who we are. It affects our identity. So these are the Adedicron ones. They look reptilian. They look ghoulish, gargoyle-ish. This is one specific race. So I'm sorry that didn't show up, but we're getting an idea now. They're winged reptilians. And like I said earlier, this is my older work. So it's not as good, but it's good enough. So you guys see it now, right? Let me know in chat. Okay, great. Thank you, Trisha. Hello, Heather. Welcome, Heather. Welcome to this conversation. Let me take Photoshop off. Yeah. I will be more mindful of making sure I check, right? That's showing up. So, yeah. Like busting myths, calling out hoaxes and lies. And so these are beings. These are just, I'll show more pictures, but these are beings that psychic people have seen in other people's fields, like hanging out in people's fields because of their life and their thoughts. Their thoughts are attracting that shit. And you're becoming more psychic. You can perceive not just your aura around your living things and inanimate things. You will also start seeing spirits that you don't normally see, spirits, ETs, which are higher density, and most humans don't have the abilities turned on. They don't have them activated, so they're not seeing, like this movie, The Sixth Sense, the boy can see dead people. He can see dead people, even though they don't talk about it in the movie, because he's got chakra opened, and the Bruce Willis character didn't. You see what I'm saying? People who have these open Templar, open chakras, they'll see someone's reptilian eyes, reptilian face. And I get private messages all the time, you guys, people telling me some of the crazy ass stuff that they can confirm they've seen themselves. A lot of you brothers and sisters have literally seen these creatures who are being called fallen angels and demons, But we're correcting that and saying these are ETs who are following the path of chaos. This is what religion is calling demons and fallen angels. They're malevolent extraterrestrials that look like aliens, ETs. And we'll go even one step further. These fallen angels are the ones creating religions and gods. Religions are worshiping tools, worshiping the AT gods, who, as you can notice, everyone can see, it's not a conspiracy when you look at how these beings, gods, speak and how they act, what they do. You see that this isn't creator, source God, who's all based on love. This is a twisted, broken, warped, dark, malevolent being. And it's being worshipped as creator, as God. This happened a long time ago, you guys. We've had religions on earth for a long, long time. They're not guardian systems. They're fallen angel systems. Religions are fallen angel systems of control, of subjugation. Now you're subjugated. Now you're on your knees. Now you're in subservience. Now you're blind worshiping. It's coming from fallen angels, not from loving, omni-loving source God. It's coming from beings who fell 250 billion years ago. They fell into something called the Phantom Matrix. They actually created it, where they created these bodies. It is a system where they create bodies that can connect to the living matrix, and like humans in their dream state, in their medicine or altered state, who are not guarding themselves, who are not in the high vibration, they're vulnerable to these beings in the phantom matrix called hell, Hades, lake of fire. We call it the black hole system. The beings in the black hole system, called the phantom matrix, are feeding off of this. So they created religions. They created religions so humans can feed energy to them. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're living your life in fear because these ET gods made it a law. Fear God. So I showed you one race. Let me show you like the Syrian Anunnaki race. Because someone asked about the Anunnaki. Yes, the Anunnaki are the ones coming from. It started with Metatron. The Ascended Master group, it's not a person, it's not an individual. Metatron is Ascended Master who was trying to help their race that they created in our time matrix, but they got entangled. When they came down here, when they incarnated down here, they too got caught up in they were called the Anu Elohim. They got caught up in the Anu Elohim drama, and they also became fallen. And they also got tricked. A lot of them got tricked. So it was this powerful Ascended Master group who became wicked. OMG. Now we have a very powerful bad guys in our time matrix. What we call fallen angels. What we call demons. Who are fallen literally into the phantom matrix, where they created these Frankenstein type of creatures. These Frankenstein creatures are finite. They don't have God's life force energy. They're cut off from life force energy. So they're finite and they will die if they do not feed. So these fallen angels who are ETs, reptilian ETs, Anunnaki ETs, Centaurian ETs, Pleiadian, Luciferian ETs, Inky, Enlil, Marduk ETs. These are all types of the 9 different races, but there's a lot more than 9. These are the fallen angels who are feeding off of the living system. Even the parallel system is living system, so they feed off the parallel universe too. what the Guardians call Particum universe and Particle universe. The particle matrix or the antiparticle matrix is being fed off of the phantom matrix. They are feeding off of any type of anti-life, anti-God, anti-love principles. This is why they will put you in fear, in shame. These are all negative things that they operate through. They operate through anger. They operate through torture. They operate through, subordinate, you are going to be put down on a very, very low level. You have to grovel. You have to put your face to the dirt for some people. Some people are whipping themselves, harming themselves because they think it's in the Lord God, which is an AT God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Elohim, Allah. These are all horrible, despicable beings who are being worshipped and praised. That's who, and it is fallen angels who are creating these systems and principalities. Fallen extraterrestrial, reptilian, Anunnaki, or whatever. We will look at some of these fallen beings in these teachings. And I already named some of the big ones. This is the Syrian Anunnaki coming up here. Syrian. Which I've made many videos, so some of you will even remember some of these pictures. And once again, this is only one Anunnaki race out of many different Anunnaki races. They don't all look like this. This is just one specific race. Being worshipped as gods. Being worshipped, being idolized, being venerated, having ceremonies and rituals for these beings. Okay? They ruled in the ancient days, ancient Egypt, ancient Atlantis. They were the pharaohs, they were the kings, they were the queens. All right? The Guardians themselves talk about these beings in great detail, what they look like. This is why in the cult, you're going to get all kinds of beings like Isis and Horus and Celtic gods, Greek gods, Roman gods. They're freaking extraterrestrial beings, man. And the Guardians describe them with green skin and black hair, and they have the hook noses. And I'll even show you where the Guardians are describing these beings, what they look like. This is the one that looks the most human. Most of these Anunnaki races don't look human at all. Okay? But you'll see the Akkadian, Sumerian, Babylonian style and culture that these gods came from. They're not gods. They're freaking extraterrestrials, homies. They can be on our planet. They can be on other planets coming to our planet. They're the beings of our history, of our myths, mythology. And they're all about royalty and elites and being your boss, being your king, being your emperor, being your pope. Where do you think governments come from? Where do you think religions come from? It comes from these type of creatures, man, who hate you. Guardians live on love. These beings live off of hate, brutality, warring, death, sacrifice. So this is what's being worshipped. New Agers and religious people are worshiping these angry Jehovian gods, Elohim gods. Praising them, putting them on, like their magic spells. They're making they're making these sigils to them. They're putting these little statues of these gods. These are not God. There's no such thing as plural gods. There's only one creator, one source. And it isn't this. Green skin, black hair, hook noses. This is what's been described as the Syrian Anunnaki by the Guardian Emerald Order Guardians. This is one race of Anunnaki. And so you're going to see them worshipped in many, many different cultures. Fallen angels being worshipped as God, they're not God. I'm just trying to make that point very clear. Holy fucking shit. Did I do it again? Did I really do this again? So I'll just show you. I'll just show you now, since I didn't do it again. Sorry, guys, if I'm not paying attention, I'll pay attention. Okay, I'll just go through them a few seconds at a time. Syrian Anunnaki. The ones being worshipped. You don't believe me? Look at the New Age. Look what these beings are praising. Billy Carson is praising these creatures. And I just saw a very disturbing video that Billy Carson made recently. Someone brought it to my attention, where he's telling you to go into a dark room and around a circle and start calling these beings names. Don't believe me? Look it up. This is what Billy is bringing you. Billy is bringing you these beings. He's bringing you Thoth, a diabolical being. But lots of people will be worshiping these beings, so they will agree with Billy or whoever else is bringing these ETs as gods, not gods. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. Yeah. Machua Nikki B. Hello, Star Sister. I haven't seen it. Someone's asking about, what do you think about season 2 of Ancient Apocalypse, new season on Netflix? Y'all. It sounds like programming. Like without even watching it, you're learning about. You'll see it in even Marvel hero movies. They started calling all of the Marvel heroes, now they're all aliens from outer space, most of them. Like Thor is an alien, obviously, a Greek god or Roman, whatever. We have, Viking, sorry. We have Wonder Woman, who's Artemis. You have a couple of these beings who are just simply called aliens. Superman is called an alien. You know, you don't see that shit in the comic books, but later they started mixing all this mythology, and you'll see it now, like this person says on Facebook, or I'm sorry, Netflix. You're going to see movies about all the things they want you to visualize. You're watching a movie, you're visualizing, you're seeing that. Now you're being programmed, you're being fed these visuals of what these beings are. They're trying to get you into their pop culture, fallen angelic pop culture. You'll get TV shows called Lucifer. It's straight up. They make these bad guys look like cool or good, or they're helping. Just like they try to do with Inky, make it look like he's helping. Make Thoth look like he's helping. You'll get false prophets or just ignorant people claiming these things, who don't know better, who still think like angels look like humans, but just with a mean personality and some wings on the back. See what I'm saying? So these beings are actively trying to be are controllers and rulers. Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that show, so much respect. Mojo Vibin, is Eye of Yahweh that was put in place to try and send beings out the same as the Yahweh Tetragrammaton? Is it bad now? Yeah, definitely bad. But what Mojo is referring to, there was something called the Eye of Metatron and the Eye of Yahweh. During that time, it was trying to help ascend some of the beings that had fallen, try to heal, like a kind of like a host matrix. There was a host matrix done, and the Guardians used a specific mechanism or technology called the Eye of Metatron and the Eye of Yahweh. There's two different eyes. And you'll hear Ashana talk about this in a Holy Grail Line video workshop. So I think so, unless I'm getting the workshop wrong. But I know there's one specific workshop where she talks about Metatron for a whole hour. And that's what my information is based on, the Guardian information. And it doesn't matter. Once you learn about this stuff, you start seeing it everywhere. You see examples of it everywhere. And so they actually end up using the Eye of Metatron in their Phantom Matrix. So these beings are brilliant, man. They were once upon a time ascended masters. Of course they're brilliant. They reversed creation mechanics. They think in reverse. They are reverse. The reverse of love, hate. The reverse of life, death. They bring us death. They bring us sacrifice and wars, hate, jealousy, racism, bigotry. They're the ones who bring us all the negative frequencies. And so it's a joke when you think those religions are good when they're obviously not. They're mixed. They're mixing good with light, some positive truth, with some dark principles and lies and hoaxes. So you're not getting the truth, are you? You're getting a piece and a piece here and a piece here, but you're following the main principles, like a sacrifice Messiah is a diabolically wicked, dark principle, man. Guardians have nothing to do with death or sacrifice. But humans will just gleefully, joyously accept death and sacrifice into their life. Now they're aligned with it. They're aligned with Phantom. This is why I'm shocked when I hear other Christic Emerald Order brothers and sisters saying that we're all ascending. I disagree with you, Holy Ones, who are saying that. There are beings truly in a blood covenant. Billions of humans are in a blood covenant. This mutilated sacrifice, Messiah. This is a wicked, wicked sigil, man. This is dark. This is death. This is fallen angels. This is demons. It's not creator, it's not joy, it's not love, it's not God source. These are these malevolent, wicked beings bringing you death and torture and blood. But they joyfully accept it into their heart, into their minds. And New Age are gleefully, joyfully worshiping Archangel Michael, Metatron, Tetragrammaton, Metatron's cube. They're just swallowing this crucifixion and death. Now it's your energies, homies. Now it's in your thought patterns. Now it's in your speech patterns. Now you see it across the world, and how my brothers and sisters in the Christ can't see it. How can you not see the death and the covenants? We have an emerald covenant. They have a Luciferian covenant. You cannot see the Luciferian covenant? You want to speak and say that all humans are awakening. Where's your discernment? Where's your discernment, people? Homies. I call out that distortion in the shield. I call it out. That's coming probably from the freaking Tantriahura side. So, okay, you guys can believe whatever you want, of course. You can believe everybody's ascending. But look at the death and destruction, and look what the powers that are in control. Do you see any controlling powers that are benevolent and good and bringing out the truth and the light? Are they bringing out unity or Christ consciousness? Are they talking about any of the Emerald Order teachings? Do they talk anything about the inner Christos? Or is there any of these huge branches of spiritual teachings talking about how we're all connected to God? We are all God. Well, there ain't nobody out there in the big places. There's no churches, no big religions, no big spiritualities. Nada, nothing. But there's still people thinking we're all ascending. So, let me show you some more fallen angels. Machiwa. Okay, I showed you Syrian Anunnaki fallen angels. Odedicron fallen angels. How about the Omicron dragon moths? Omicron. Omicron. Oh, here's Morgan. Like I made a Halloween video and I put Morgan in it, and you will see these creatures in what the true beings are. Maybe some of you are worshiping Morgan. You know, does this look like a goddess? I mean, yeah, I guess from the New Age and occult point of view, this is a goddess. Okay, where's the Omicron? Omicron. Oh, what about Thoth? Let me look up Thoth. Because so many people love Thoth, right? This is from the movie Stargate. This is what you could say Thoth would be like as a pharaoh. And you remember how this being was an Egyptian god. Thoth is an Egyptian god. What a coincidence, not a coincidence. Thoth is, you better believe Thoth is just as diabolical as this being or this character in the movie. And they will be rulers and kings. See, this is from the movie, and this is how your brother did it. Anuhazi did it. You know, they want to be the royalty and the kings and the rulers and the emperors. And we're being tricked into thinking these Luciferians, because Thoth is a Luciferian, and Billy Carson is teaching his million of subscribers to go into a dark room and start calling these names. Literally, calling these many names in the dark. Yeah. Omicron. Where's Omicron? Okay, so I had to find out how to make a dragon moth. I don't know if any of these are the dragon moth. Let me check. Dragon moth. Part reptilian, part insectoid, part dinoid. That means dinosaur. So these are very ancient. These are a few years old, so they're not very good, but this is where the Mothman idea comes from. That's not one I really like, but I'm just clicking on miscellaneous ones. That's obviously not it either. I can't see the large pictures. That looks like a gremlin. These are two insectoid. I'm trying to look one that's more like the... maybe I don't have any good examples, you guys. But they're not pleasant looking. They look scary as hell type of looking. And you can imagine all kinds of creatures you've seen that look like this in movies or whatever. Yeah, so I will make better portrayals of the Omicron. But, okay, so we did an Omicron, Odedicron, and even the Zeta Gray aliens, you can tell they don't look like benevolent. I mean, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but like I said, the consciousness is what distorts these beings. I mean, now a lot of humans are scared of these beings. I wonder why. There must be reasons why we fear these beings. I mean, you're not supposed to fear, but these are these are one of the fallen angel races. They're kidnapping, abducting humans without their permission. They're taking the embryo out of pregnant women. They're not doing anything to help humans. They are against humans. So I want to make sure I'm showing the screen again. Maybe I'm not showing. Yeah, this time I'm showing the screen. And they're in the secret space program. So let me look at. Well, I do have a fallen angel. Well, here's the Anu Elohim, which is also a fallen angel. Some people align themselves with Anu Elohim. Wait a second. Properties, Photoshop. So it opens up in Photoshop. Sorry, because it's not. Some of these aren't hooked up to Photoshop. This was one of my thumbnails I used for a video on Metatron. Because the scarier, more diabolical, more wicked, the more powerful you are in these systems. And they do have B systems. They have 666 systems. These beings are truly anti-life. And they will appear to you as an angel. They will appear to you, they're going to tell you they're benevolent beings. Archangel Metatron. Oh, benevolent Archangel Metatron. Bringing you the Metatron's cube. You're worshiping this being. Praying to this being. Casting magic spells with this being. Metatron is more like a devil, more like a demon, more like the actual, the Guardians call it an archdemon. It's not a person, but it has a likeness, a people. And let me show you what the Anu Elohim people look like. Before the Ascended Master Metatron fell, they were trying to help these beings. This is Metatron. No, wait. Yeah. This is an example of a positive group of Metatrons who are trying to help the Anu Elohim. So let me pull up Anu Elohim. who were positive at first. But before they were called Anu Elohim, they were called Anu. So let me pull up the Anu. A sweet, pleasant-looking aquatic ape, feline aquatic ape. So they will have some type of ape features and some type of feline features. You can see the feline eyes there. Actually, beautiful race before they fell. They were a very beautiful race before they went into against the Guardians. Positive Guardian group for 700 billion years. 700 billion years, they were kind and benevolent. Feline aquatic apes. So you see their features, you get their general features. But what happens, remember, when the consciousness becomes distorted, the body becomes distorted. Let me show you what these beings became after they fell. Maybe this will hit you hard and help you understand why a lot of these monsters and creatures look scary looking, is because they changed to something more diabolical. They became twisted in their soul, in their consciousness. Their bodies become twisted. Ghoulish, grotesque, scary. Well, some of you say, oh, they're beautiful. So it looks like Dr. Seuss to me. And what was Dr. Seuss trying to, what kind of weird, strange creatures are coming in your children's books? You know, even Jim Carrey played that Christmas Story character, the Grinch. What are these Grinch and gremlins and what are these creatures really? This is what you're looking at, is a fallen angelic being, man, who hate you. And they trick you to worship them. You are worshiping this. You're worshiping Metatron? Sorry. You're worshiping... It's not letting me... There's something wrong with my Photoshop. I can't use Zoom right now. You want to worship Metatron? This is what you're worshiping. Let me show you what Tolth's race actually looks like. Before he incarnated as an Atlantean or a Sumerian or whatever... which is Inky. Thoth the Atlantean is Inky the Luciferian. Which are serpent creatures. I'm trying to find it, sorry. Inky. Okay, you saw those alien beings. Well, here's another type of alien being. I'm trying to find it. That's actually too human looking. Let me show you what they look like. Sorry. This is what they're snake beings. They're snake beings. Snake hominids. And I get these descriptions from the Guardian descriptions in the book. And so this is what Thoth's real form looks like on planet Nibiru, which you should know by now. The Nibiru fell into the Phantom Matrix. It's no longer in the 3D, in the particle universe. It's now in the Phantom. But they have created something on our side called the Battlestar Nibiru. But don't confuse it with the actual planet Nibiru, which is now Phantom Nibiru. So this is, I said 9 races. I've shown you a few already. They don't look like what you see in Google search, you guys. They don't look like what most people are calling fallen angels. Those people who are psychic have witness of what they really look like. You don't even have to rely on a book to tell you, or my pictures to tell you. You can awaken yourself and your abilities, and you may see them in other people or in your own experiences. Let me look at chat again. Sir Madism. The fact is, nobody knows what's going on. The truth of our reality is far beyond what our simple minds can comprehend. It's all speculation. Well, it's not all speculation, brother, because some of it is actually straight up talked about. And it's also not speculation because I think you're missing the part where we are multidimensional beings. And it's not speculation when you connect to a higher version of the universe and to your own identities and you see them. So I would disagree on that. It's not speculation. But let's look what she was saying, Nikki B. Oh, you guys are arguing about Billy Carson? Thank you, Nikki B. I love the artwork. She says, great descriptions, Machiwa. Yeah, it's not about judgment. When you talk about his recent video, I don't know if it's recent, but someone shared it with me. And he's giving you a straight up in a 30-second video. Maybe it's 45-second video. He's straight up telling people to call on these. They sound like Egyptian names, but we know what Thoth is from these teachings. We know that Thoth is a fallen angel. Whether you call it, Trismegistus, his different incarnations, Thoth is not working for us. Thoth is not a good guy. And these teachings actually show many things that Thoth Inky has done. And they're diabolical. So that's not something that's just opinion, brother. Actually, I must have refreshed the screen, you guys. I can't go all the way up. So if you guys made a question earlier, please make it again so I can check it out. The Book of Revelation, BG. What do you think about the Book of Revelation? Well, it's part of the Bible. Oh, wait. F5. I got to F5 my screen. The Bible, okay, is a false text. It's a distorted text. It's a distorted teachings. And let me open it straight up from Voyagers 1 and Voyagers 2, what the Guardians say about Revelations. So you're not just thinking I'm making stuff up like some people are saying. So before we praise Thoth, man, there is no good version of Thoth. Now, Inky, there was a part, I mean Enoch. There was a part of Enoch. Let me correct myself about Thoth. Thoth once upon a time, sorry, I made that mistake. Thoth once upon a time worked for the Guardians. Originally, was on planet Nibiru before it got taken over by Marduk Anunnaki and changed it. But, yeah, that's where Thoth got his concepts of the Emerald Tablets. Thoth was once working for the Guardians, and I've heard Speaker 1 talk about him. She's met him. She's worked with him. And so, in other lifetimes. And so, he betrayed us. He betrayed the Guardians. He betrayed our planet. He betrayed our race. And then, and now there's people working on his side, like Billy Carson. So we don't hate on Billy. I actually explain how Billy has a lot of truth mixed with a bunch of lies. So what in the world kind of benefits are you getting from that? Just like what benefits are you getting from the Holy Bible? When it's this person, you asked about Revelations. Well, it's in the mix of a bunch of other twisted teachings. So it's not truth. It's not going to happen the way it's saying in the Bible. There's not going to be a human rapture. Where is it? Where is the rapture? When you see how Christians are not, the Christianity is a distortion. Christianity is teaching you Metatronic death science. There is no human ascension or rapture. I mean, Christian rapture only, believers only, versus the Gentiles. We're called the Gentiles because we're not part of the God's chosen people. Did you know that? That idea of chosen ones is coming out of Israel. Are you a Gentile or a Jew? Well, most of us are not Jews, so we're not part of God's chosen people, I guess. If you follow those twisted religious teachings, and look who their God is. Even the teachings will tell you their God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Anu Elohim, is a fallen being, is a Metatronic being, is not helping humanity, is trying to blind humanity. So when you got people praising Thoth, then you're getting more tied up in this Metatronic death science. And even though he's recommending to go in a dark room and start repeating shit. Let's get this straightened out. Billy is instructing people to go into a dark room and imagine a circle around your body and then begin to speak and utter these names. Untanas, Cortas, I don't even want to repeat them. He mentioned a bunch of names you never heard of. It's strikingly similar to a ritual invocation or summoning practice that he's sent to his million of followers. Something they teach you in mystery schools and occultism. And of course, the Hermetic tradition that is created by Thoth. You don't just get the emerald tablets, you get the whole Hermeticism comes out of him. It's not how organic Christic activations work, you guys. That's not how we commune with Source God. Through chanting in a dark space. Okay, Mr. Billy Carson, what you're showing people is you're opening people to astral interference and false light entities and thoughtful projections masquerading as guides. First of all, he doesn't even talk about who these entities are. He calls them cymatic energies, frequencies. Okay, you guys. Just like there is positive sound frequencies, there are also negative sound frequencies. This is why you're not just speaking profane, because there's power behind that profanity, power behind these names that Billy wants you to repeat in the darkness in a circle, which is all connected to this like black magic shit. I was actually shocked when I saw that video. Like downright shocked. Invoking presences. That's what you're doing. You go and speak these names that you don't know who they are, because he doesn't tell you what they are. It's exactly how astral ritual magic works, you guys. And it's some form of binding agreements, frequency harvesting. And we talk about the Matronic tree of death. You know how the Kabbalah, they have these 10 spheres. What the F is 10? When we go by 3, 6, 9, 12, and now you got 7s, and now you got 10s, as these sacred, if it's a metaphysical system, and they choose 10, it's about 10 spheres. You understand? The Guardians call this the tree of death. The tree of life is the Cathara grid, 12 spheres, not 10, which is reptilian. And so we transmute that. Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, I won't repeat them. Don't worry. Yeah, like Indigo Wizard said, he turned on the Inner Covenant. It's actually in Voyagers in detail. And it's also talked about in some of the Oceana's video workshop series. Looks like we have more activity. Sorry, you guys, if I missed that. Inlo 10! Woohoo! Holy One! Thank you so much, brother. Left a message recovering from heavy dark night. I just made a video about Dark Night of the Soul. Oh, that was my last night's live, or Saturday, right? Much love to you all. Bless you, brother, and your journey. Much respect to whatever you're experiencing. Because a lot of us go through it, and I see some of your guys' private messages, so I know you're going through it. And just because we are students of these teachings, it doesn't mean we're not going to fumble or have some, what is it called in sports football, when they take the football from the interception. Sometimes we may get intercepted by, caught off guard, caught off balance by some of these practices, by some of these energies and beings. So this is something that we, as you say, we get through those, but we always realize, our inner Christos, our connection to God, and bring that back to us, bring that back to alignment, and see those other things for what they are. Always check something if it's based on the sacred law of one or not. All are equal, all are God. When they're not teaching those principles, then something's off balance, whether the person knows it or not. Like Billy, I don't know if he knows everything he's doing or not. I know he believes in it. And Mr. Madism had a lot of nice things to say about him. And so maybe he believes in his mind, Billy, maybe he believes in his mind that he's doing, all his work that he's doing is for mankind. But when you get entangled with specific energies that the Guardians, red flag, you have to have discernment, you guys. Maybe you can get some of his videos, but just like the Bible, pick out some things from the Bible that you resonate with and release the rest. And we don't hate on Billy. I love Billy, and we would love to, love anyone who's out here making awakening videos. And I can agree with most of his teachings, but I simply am not agreeing with the Thoth. And so when you hear me say something about Billy, it's about Thoth related. We have a big chasm difference when it comes to Thoth. Straight up. So we can actually talk about other things besides Thoth. We'll have him on the show, but a lot of you will start hating on me and thinking I'm doing something bad if I invite him to the show. And I've already had this discussion. I've already talked about this. So I don't need to repeat that. So I agree with him on many things, but I do not disagree with Thoth. And that's what his video was about that I just mentioned. It was about Thoth's teachings and how practice this technique, you guys. It's going to help you. Specifically, how, that's not mentioned. It's not mentioned. Listen to the video. It's not telling you exactly what it does for you. Red flag. Red flag. If you ever see Ashiana or the Emerald Order videos teaching you how to do a technique, they're going to explain what it all means. You don't just list a bunch of names and not explain the frequency behind it. When let's say you're learning the Maharic seal technique, you're learning what the color means. You're learning what you're doing with moving the energy up from the earth up to your crown or whatever. You're explained. But when someone doesn't explain the technique, I don't recommend practicing it or running it. Machiwa. So some of the 9 races that we can list will be the Syrian Anunnaki, Omicron dragon moths, Odedicron winged reptilians, Inky insectoid serpent beings, insect reptilian beings, and the Enlil, I forgot what their appearance is. Some type of reptilian though, part reptilian, part Anunnaki. And there's one that's half Zeta, half Anunnaki. So that's a part Draconian, it's an Anu Seraphim race. I lost count, right? There's a Pleiadian Luciferian. Not all Pleiadians are dark, obviously. I'm not mentioning all Pleiadians. I'm talking about the ones on Nibiru. There's no nice Pleiadians on Nibiru, guys. Those are Luciferian. They're part of there's a real thing called the Luciferian Covenant. Thoth is part of it. Enoch is part of it. Now, there's specific races. They even have names for these things. Let's show you from the actual PDF on the screen. So let me go to that. Switch to that. And let me look at the bookmark. Jehovah and Anunnaki, maybe. You'll see what these ET gods, false gods, have done. What these fallen angels do. They created Christian Protestant text distortions. They created the Urantia book. There's something called the Templar Melchizedek Mormons. Well, the word is Mormons, right? But do you know that they're involved? They're part of what's called Templar Melchizedek. Excuse me. So just like the book of Urantia is a straight up manufactured teaching, not like a not like a distortion of an existing teaching, but a teaching they brought into our world. They brought the Mormon text into our world. So the Yahweh, Jehovah God stories and false 12 tribe stories from the Hebrew Christian text are generated by these beings. Just like you get all these Roman gods, Greek gods, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, they're just another one of these gods. Archangel Michael. They messed with some of the Tibetan creeds. We think of these people like Native Americans and Tibetans and Hebrews and that they're all good and positive, but you realize their teachings are just as distorted as all the other teachings, the New Age teachings. And here's that Kabbalah. Yahweh, Metatron, Ophanium. Enoch. The 10 seraph tree of life. No, it's not. It's the tree of death. Same with the Metatron's cube. That's a energy structure of death. So is Drunvalo Melchizedek's. What do they call it? The flower. They call it the flower of life. No, it's the flower of death. The tree of death and the flower of death. There's the Pleiadians that are on Nibiru. They're Luciferians. Lucy, I'm home. They brought us the more Protestant Christian text distortions, lies, hoaxes. All of these ancient Egyptian Isis mystical schools. Some people are still worshiping Isis. They have little statues of Isis on their altar. They're invocating the spirit of Isis. People are channeling Pleiadians and UFOs. Rosicrucian spiritual teachings come from these Pleiadians. Olympian gods of Greece and Rome are coming from the Pleiadian, Semyasi, Luciferians. And same with Galactic Fed, Ashtar Command, Pleiadian Nibirian Council. All the things that you are familiar with in New Age and religions are not coming from Creator, Source God, or the Guardians. The Guardians are the ones, look, the Guardians are the ones telling you about these distortions on Earth. And let's look at Thoth. They're the ones telling you about Thoth man, not your brother Anuhazi. Don't hate on me because I talk about your Thoth, Inky, Zephlahim from Nibiru. Don't hate on me when I show you what Thoth really looks like. What Enoch really is. Thoth, Inky. Thoth, Inky, Zephlahim. Thoth, Inky, Zephlahim. Thoth, Inky. Thoth, Inky. All related to snakes. Snake Brotherhood kings. Your brother Thoth is a snake. What does that say about people praising Thoth? Thoth Inky. See, it's not your brother talking about it. It's these other it's the Guardians talking about it. They're from Nibiru. They're Nibirians. They're buddies, Thoth and Pleiadian Semyasi and Alpha Omega. They're not from Nibiru, but they're friends. Those are the dragons coming in. And the centaurs. You know, they have positive centaurs in, what's that kid show called? Narnia. They make, and also in Harry Potter, they make the centaurs good beings when they're straight up diabolical Luciferian beings. Thoth Inky, Thoth Inky, Thoth Inky. Involved with murdering, massacring indigo children. And Ashana talked about that in great detail in the Egyptian Atlantean lecture. She talked about the temple wars, and temple as in pyramid, temple wars in inner earth, and the diabolical things that Thoth did himself as a leader and as an individual, the horrible things that this being has done. Thothian serpent. Just think of Thoth as a serpent. And what does that say about the people praising the serpent? Bringing out the snake teachings. Nibirian Thoth Inky. That's what Thoth is. He's an Inky Anunnaki. Friends with the winged reptilians. They're coming from phantoms, so they're all like, okay, because you remember what I said earlier. Nibiru fell into the phantom. Inky, including Thoth, Enlil, and Marduk are in phantom. These are truly fallen angelic beings influencing humanity. We don't praise them. We expose them. This is my job to expose, and some people will not be happy with that. This channel is not popular for that. I'm not popular because, and these teachings are not popular because they break down Archangel Michael and Galactic Fed and Thoth and Enoch. Okay? We call out and describe what exactly is the Luciferian covenant and how this is ancient. It's not just from New Age. It's not just from a few years ago. It happened 50,000 years plus. Look what this teaching say. I'll go back to that. You'll see how old it is. Just in Human Seeding 3. The Lucy Covenant. Luciferian. Covenant. 54 references. Let me go from the top first. 22,000. 22,000 is not when it was created. So let me go down a bit. There's a timeline I'm trying to find. But you see it's active. The Luciferian covenant is active in Atlantis. It's active. The Luciferian covenant is involved in Sumer. It's active in Sumer. The Luciferian covenant, let's see where else it's active. It's active in Galactic Federation. It had something to do with the Dozer invasion, the Dead Sea conquest, the Dead Sea Scrolls. They had something to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. That's your Galactic Fed, homies. That's your Luciferian covenant, vatos. More about Atlantis conspiracy, which is a Luciferian conspiracy. You know, the stories of Noah, Abraham, Moses. Those are Hyksos kings. More about Luciferian covenant. They're the ones who bring you chosen ones. The Luciferians bring you chosen one concepts. This is why I shatter that with a two-handed mace, man. I just brutally tell you what chosen ones is all about. I talked to you about the NDCD, the Nibarian Dyadic Crystal Grid. Once again, coming from the Luciferian Covenant, from Atlantis. They want you dead, homie. They want the pole shift, homie. And the Luciferian Covenant Dominion agenda. They wanted to make an agreement with the Pleiadians, but they broke this agreement. They went back to the Luciferian Covenant. Luciferian Covenant, Atlantis still. That's an Atlantean agenda from a long, long time ago. I still didn't find it, but like Lucifer. Let's look up to 21,000, 22,000, 25, 28, 50,000 BC. The Lemurian Holocaust, when they murdered all the Lemurians as if they didn't learn their lesson on Tara. You know, you see what these beings are all about? They're about murdering, killing, dominating, hating, war. So I just wanted to show you some of the associations and tell you what's being taught in New Age by these false teachers. Mix in with some truth, sprinkle in some truth with a bunch of Luciferian teachings. You ain't going to get no enlightenment out of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. You're not going to get enlightenment from the Urantia book. You're not going to get enlightenment from the Book of Enoch. You're not going to get enlightenment from many of these Archangel Michael, Galactic Fed teachings. These are teachings coming out of tonight's topic about these 9 plus fallen angelic races who've been involved since ancient days. Even before the forbidden timeline you're not meant to hear about, that were actually on Earth. 25 million years have been on Earth. So you get a tiny truncated. What's Sumeria? A couple thousand years compared to 25 million years, right? How long is a million compared to a few thousand? Well, this is about a million. So 25 of these, I can't. So a long, long time ago, humans have been on Earth, but we were created in another universe, another dimension. So we're super ancient, but when it comes to Earth, it's around 25 million years. But the fallen angels started coming a little bit later than that, not at the beginning, but when the Atlantis period, Voyagers 2 picks up the Atlantis, where they first came in human seeding 1 and messed with the Lemurians again. This happened in Tara. They were messing with the Lemurians, and it caused cataclysm, and it created this to fall, the part of the cataclysm that fell from Earth and the humans that fell. It went into Density Universe 1. This is it. And it created 12 planets, including the sun as one of those celestial bodies. 12 celestial bodies. Earth, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Tiamat, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, the sun. I'm missing a planet. Tiamat was one of them, and Nibiru is one of them. I skipped over a normal planet, but there's 12 celestial bodies that fell from Tara's cataclysm, that fell out of the warring between Atlantis and Lemuria. The Lemurians were peaceful. So it was a density 2 thing and fell to a density 1 thing. This is why most of these beings are density 2 beings coming down to density 1 to visit us. Angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, indigo children, star seeds. They're coming from density 2, not from density 1. We're in density 1. They're coming and visiting us, angels or fallen angels, from other higher levels. Even in the Phantom Matrix has higher dimensions than 3. We're in 3rd. They're in they're dark avatars. They're in the 10th dimensional dark avatar or 11th dimensional dark avatar, like Thoth. Thoth is literally an 11.5 level phantom being coming to us, incarnating from the phantom. So it's sad to see a lot of people praising these beings when you understand, and especially when you start to realize these teachings and the forbidden history, you'll start to see it in your dreams, your dream state, your lucid dreaming, your conscious aware dreaming, your astral projections, out of body, near-death experiences. You will start to confirm these things. You don't actually need a book, but the book helps you, because it's very, very confusing in this planet. So the book helps you make sense of a lot of confusing things. Thank you guys for holding space with us. Gina! Woohoo! Star Sister! Machiwa! Thank you for that large exchange of energy. Thank you for those hugs. Yeah. Much respect to my sister. I love you, and I'm so happy I met you in real life. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Spiritual Ascension. He wrote a message. He, she, I can't tell from the image. Good to be back. Hi, Holy Ones. Thank you, Spiritual Ascension. Much respect. And welcome back. We're glad to have you back, right? G-Light, if I didn't say it already. Sorry, G-Light, if I jumped over that. Machiwa Anuhazi, so sorry I can't stay for the whole live. Omni Christos love, all oneness, Emerald Order teachings for life. Thank you, G-Light. Blessing, sister. Thank you so much. Much respect and enjoy your time at work. Wait, Did you say work? You just said you can't stay. Thank you so much for showing up. It means a lot. Big hugs, holy wands. Machiwa. Wait. Yeah, another Lauren Wisdom says Pope Bro the Snake. Yeah. Oh, Hive Energy says Anarchy Barbie Fitness. I didn't want to be connected to their Hive group. And a group is more powerful, and if it's a distorted group, it's going to be more damaging. And this is our job, you guys. It was the Guardian's job to put all this information about these fallen angels. It's people like my job to speak about them and share them with a lot of people who don't even know this exists. I'm just trying to get more exposure on the Emerald Order teachings to make it reach more eyes. And if some of my videos have hit 1 million, I've reached at least a few million people. And so even if just a little bit of it resonates with a lot of people, then that's a big difference. And that I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to, they call content creators also influencers. I don't see that as a nice word, but it can be if it's a positive influence. I'm trying to positively influence the New Age era. We're in a New Age era. Okay? And they're all involved. These beings are super intelligent. And but you too can be super intelligent when you reach those higher levels of yourself. I have had witness to it. I've explained that I have seen parts of myself that had like 10,000 plus IQ. So much frequency. It is so unbelievable, so massive. So yes, we are quite capable to witness, and we can fathom, we can understand. Understand also that the human consciousness has the much greater potential. We can hit 24 strands, 36 strands, 48 strands, and these beings are all stuck at 11. It's like being capped at a 300 IQ. Very brilliant, but they can't go beyond that. They can't go beyond their hate and their murder and their death and their sacrifice and their, brutality and their conquering and their, manipulation and distortion. They can't go beyond that. They're just stuck in the same hateful resonance. They're not expanding. They're not growing. And our race has been targeted by these fallen angelic extraterrestrial races. This is why the Guardians are talking about them, exposing them. And you better believe if I see people teaching these false Metatronic creeds, we're going to expose them too. Because I can't tell you how many people I have had thank me, send me private messages, DMs on Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, email. They straight up say they used to be involved in this stuff, but they're so grateful that they've had this realization, and that's organic, that's raw, that's real. I'm not rigging that. I'm not making that up. People are experiencing genuine awakenings. Like I even talk about my own awakening. I used to be stuck in religion. And then when I started to wake up, I thought I was woken up. I was stuck in a cult. I was practicing some of these things I expose now. I show you some of the old books I used to have, and now they're examples of what I can say, hey, check this out, or hey, I used to do this. I can relate to some of you who are into tarot and into astrology, because I have massive books, complex books, hard to find books, because I was one of those seeking all kinds of knowledge from everywhere I could find. And, back in those days, I had a nice business. I could afford all that. I could get whatever I needed. Special order things from around across the country. That's when I was big into herbs and essential oils. I was importing those stuff. I was even importing incense. Now I found a place in America to buy incense, right? So, but yeah, it's all of our duty, you guys. If you're awakening and you will see for yourself how these false creeds and current beliefs and that are out there are keeping humanity disempowered. You could see us, we're at war with fallen angels, man. The human race is being attacked by them. In our beliefs, they're the ones that are operating the Illuminati puppets. Okay, back in Atlantis, you saw in the Voyagers 2, the Snake Brotherhood King. That was one Illuminati race out of many back in those days, Atlantis and ancient Egypt. They took all the positions of power. They created these secret organized groups. Okay? They're the ones that are the presidents, the CEOs, the pharaohs, the popes, the kings, the queens, the bishops, the ones that became our rulers, the ones that are telling you what is God. They're the ones telling you what is our history. When you'll find out, no, it's not our history. This is the religion is not our spiritual beliefs. Those are all distortions of the original. Just like Thoth's Emerald Tablets are a distortion of the Emerald Covenant. Thoth took what he learned from the Guardians and found his own path of service to self. Now it's about power and control and having other feed that power. Now look at this. 2025, and this ancient character, Thoth, and ancient Trismegistus, Hermeticism, is still influencing us. Just like the Greek gods are influencing us, the Hebrew gods, Roman gods, Celtic gods. A lot of us used to be venerating those beings. I used to venerate. I used to invocate. So I know exactly what that's like, and I felt the difference, the huge difference between channeling and telepathy with guardians, with personal Christos. Because I felt those entities that I was channeling in the past. I felt them. I saw them. So then I learned from the Emerald Order, that's not what we want to do. We don't want anything in our light body. We're not supposed to be playing with spirit boards, Ouija boards, invocation, spells. So, so grateful, so extremely grateful that I got out of those dark, twisted, alignments, basically aligning with Phantom. And I saw the side effects of Phantom in my life. And then with the Emerald Order, everything became more clear. I didn't just see it in my life. I saw it in my father's life. I saw it in my sister, my daughter's life. I saw this teachings, like I'm teaching tonight, exposing what fallen angels are, exposing the races. These teachings blew my mind, totally helped me recover from that, get away from that. Now I'm a Christic being, a Christic teacher. I'm not teaching you candle magic now. Now I'm teaching you about the inner Christos, and you don't need a freaking candle or a ritual or to repeat these names. Some names of gods or ETs or whatever. I'm not telling you to go in a dark room and light a candle and speak, it's like do a spell and visualize this. Yeah, in some of these guardian teachings, it talks about visualization, but this is why they go through the whole trouble of teaching you Kalantic science, so you know what scalar fields are, you know what your Templar are, you know what your biofield is, you know the names of it, you know the levels of them. You got crown chakra, galactic 1, chakra, galactic 2. You learn about morphogenetic fields, crystal bodies, Partakai units, Partakai grids, Kelon codes. So you learn that spiritual science so you can understand all these other things that everything is based on. The spiritual science is what everything is based on. So when you understand the spiritual science, like Partakai phasing, how we flash on and flash off between the parallel and the particle, Partakay, Particum, how the original splits into two. The original is polarizes. The Partakai polarizes into Partakay, Particum, magnetic, electric, electromagnetic. We're meant to, in ascension, we're coming together with our parts. That's unifying, not fission, fusion, fission, fusion. We're turning on, we're turning off, turning on, flash on, flash off. So quickly, so that's happening so fast, you don't know that you're switching off. You're not actually switching off. You're actually existing in density 5, antimatter. Oh shit. This has happened before. I'll just let it down for now. This is my green screen pillows holding my the green screen behind my head. And this is another blankie, a blue one. The chair is actually black. It's a leather chair. It squeaks when I move. But yeah, guys. I know people get emotional about these topics, but this is what's happening in our world, or what's important in our world, is to understand these things, these principles. Oh, his live is not good, says Martian Stealth. The Antichrist? Hey, buddy, I've seen a lot of what you're doing. What am I doing? Someone who calls themselves the Antichrist. Let's see what kind of positive information comes out of him. Please enlighten us and tell me what I'm doing. So this is a positive thing. I like what you bring. I like to bring you onto my open team coming up soon. Hey, if you got 5,000 members, I'll come onto your show. But if you're just coming up and you only have 3 subscribers, it ain't working, homie. I want to see that you have a track record. I want to see how people are reacting, right? I've gotten invited to startups. People have no audience, but when I see someone who's already got a record and already got content, I see what the content that they're doing. Like one of our interviews only had 300 subscribers. When I see that they're actually teaching guardian teachings, then that's another subject. If you're just teaching new age stuff, I'm not doing an interview, man. Sorry. What? Wait a second. Jennifer Novelli. Sorry if I didn't say your last name all right. Jennifer, thank you so much, Star Sister. Woohoo! That's an awesome exchange of energy. Bless you, Holy One. I'm so happy you're here with us. Yeah, Jennifer! You're amazing. What's up, Stephen Oswald? Thank you, brother. And that's a euro, so you're right. You're in Europe, right? It must be in the middle of the. Wait, it must be morning where you are, right? You're amazing too, Stefan, and I'm so happy to have you in our group. And that's what this is, you guys. It's a group effort. You realize that we incarnate together in groups. A lot of us, brothers and sisters, we know each other up there. Like, I'm sure I know, like, Indigo Wizard, Sir Madism, Stardust Goddess, Celine, and Sandra Holder. I'm Little Alien. I'm sure I know you guys up there. All of you members, Nikki B, and we probably all had some other incarnations together. You know, and each period of time that we incarnate into, we have to, wake up, try to wake up. Try to wake up in the Dark Ages. Try to wake up in the Greek or Roman power. Try to wake up in the ancient Egyptian Illuminati days. We were trying to wake up in Jeshua's day. A lot of us know each other, you guys. We incarnate as groups. We're familiar to each other. You know, we're meeting now for a reason. We bumped into each other online or in person for a reason. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We all can make, fall and stumble and maybe be distorted ourselves, but we all try to, we're coming from our heart. We can apologize, we can love each other, we can celebrate together, we can sing songs together. We're awakening together. And we're going to expose darkness together. And we're going to talk about the Christ, the Christos, innerchristos together. We're going to talk about unity and bring in that energy, that frequency of omni love together. Omni Christos love. Blessings to all of my homies out there. Just realize, with these teachings, you will realize who are actually the good guys and who are actually the bad guys. Because in this world, it's turned around. Now you think Galactic Fed is the good guys, and you never heard of the Guardian Alliance. Now you think Archangel Michael is the good guy, and you never heard of, the Guardian Angelic Nations. Or you have no idea what the difference is between the path of order and the path of chaos. Well, we're learning that, and we're remembering it, and we're not actually evolving. We're reclaiming what we already are. That's the amazing thing, you guys. Every single one of us are perfect. Every single one of us are ascended masters. Every single one of us are a part of Creator, God, Source. So we all have this amazing, unbelievable potential. I mean, some of us have seen those levels. And we would love to bring in more of ourselves into our 3D life. And just like, in 2024, I see a big difference in myself. And a much, much bigger difference than 2023 and even before. So what can we expect from your brother Anhazi in 2026? I'm not even done with this year. I got to finish this year and expand more. I still go through my own personal issues. I see people on the team also having personal issues, but we're all dealing with the distortions in the world, the distortions within ourselves, and we're awakening to those distortions. We're expanding beyond those distortions. We're healing those distortions, and we support each other. We care about each other. We respect each other. We don't need to trigger and fall into old patterns. So, many blessings to all of you, because we all have this fight, this battle. I mean, there is some type of drama that we go through. And so we can appreciate that in each other. We can respect that in each other. Like, I know what you're going through, brother, sister. I'm going through some shit too. Until we get to that higher level, till we get to a more successful, I would say, more self-control over what happens in our hologram experience. We're trying so hard to make it the best we can. Like, I see so much growth I still need to go through. I know there's so much more I need to work on. While I'm trying to create this Christic presence in the society, create a society, a community, right, for us. And so it's not about one person, it's about all of us coming together in a group and coming from a space of love. Now, you may see me raise my voice and be serious, but at the end of the day, it's all coming from love, you guys. It's coming from reverent respect. It's coming from my own confirmation. I've seen these divine guardians that were being talked about. Each and every one of you, brother and sister, can see them, experience them. You don't need me to tell you, or Ashiana or someone else, because you can, heal those distortions, make those connections for yourself. This is what the inner God, inner Christos is all about. It's about us becoming that more powerful version of ourselves in the 3D. Because these fallen angels are after us. They want our planet. They want our stargates. They want to they want to create pole shift. That's talked about in Voyagers. They want pole shift. They want mass death, and only have a select of their few that they call, the fallen angels call, chosen ones. You're the chosen ones who are going along with their false light systems. Now, you think you're a good love and light person, but you're following a phantom system, or you're giving your energy unknowingly, unconsciously, through these distorted practices, or you're too used to, instead of using your inner Christos, you're too used to scrying or, invocating, getting some other being's input instead of your own direct vertical connection to source God's input. So that's a big lesson for all of us. We want to be operating from not our 3D ego, because our ego is limited to the 3D. It's limited to this earth plane. But we go beyond the ego and we heal the negative ego, which is our mental body, because we need that. We actually need a very good mental body, ego. A very strong, positive ego, mental body. Not the negative version that it's about service to me. It's about me and my life and my knowledge. When you're not just a me. You're not just a 3D me. That's what the ego thinks. You know better. You're not just a 3D ego me. You're a 4D being. You're a 5D being, 6D, 7B, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, G. We can keep on going because you're part of the law of one. You're part of God's source. You're part of all of this, not just an ego human on earth. You're more. So think like it. Think like it. Act like it. Be it. Spend time in those higher identities. Or at least spend time imagining what your archangel self is. Plural, selves. Know that you have 144 archangels in your personal Christos. And yes, there's exact specific numbers in these teachings. You have 144, you would call them angels, or you could say soul levels, souls, angels, oversouls, archangels, avatars. You have 144 avatars. You actually have more when you consider the parallel system, twice as much. So you don't just have 144 here, you have 144 there. So we have 144 here and 144 there. That's 288. I have 288. You have 288. So I am talking to you in Earth, okay? But I have higher selves, and your higher selves are probably friends. Our higher selves know each other. They're cheering us on. Why did you fight? Why are you arguing? You're supposed to love each other. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. I love you, holy ones, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining this live about fallen angels and archangels, and because we did talk about Archangel Metatron, which was 250 billion years ago, where they attacked. Remember I showed you those lovely pictures of the feline aquatic apes? Well, when they fell, they were all about death and killing and murdering. And they certainly did that, man. They affected all life from the 11th dimension and down. They affected the human's planet, Earth. They affected all life on Earth. They made it so that we're in an aging and dying planet. No, all life is aging and dying now. All life now all the beings on Earth cannot sustain themselves. They have to take the energy from another being. That's called eating. We're consuming other life forms. We're taking other life. We can't exist now without it. We have to accept that we're devouring some other life forms just to sustain ourselves, because we're not getting it from the free energy of the air. We're not taking in prana. We can do that through the sun gazing. We could do it through breathing, bringing that prana through our energetic systems. These teachings talk about how to do that in a big way, right? So, much love, much respect, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I know I probably stepped on some of your toes because some of you love these beings. But the whole purpose is to let you know what the guardians are talking about, these beings. And I'm sure as time goes by, I'll get better and better at this, because I know that once I'm very articulate on a lot of these topics of these beings, I'll be able to do more research, like in the Secret Space Program or in the history, and show you more details of where these beings have damaged us, how they're still damaging us. This is an ongoing effort. It's not like people are saying it's a global awakening happening. No, it's not. Straight up, it's not happening. I mean, we still argue with each other. We're still have issues in our own spiritual communities. So we just move on and keep on trying to improve and keep on trying to heal and learn more knowledge. Learn and practice actual techniques. Okay, remember, the most important thing is your inner Christos, your direct vertical connection to God. Because all of the teachings of these fallen angels will tell you don't have that. They'll tell you you're separate from God. Transmute. Find the inner Christos. Find this sacred universal law of one within your life. Much respect to you guys in your journey. So you guys, please support this work. Please support this channel. make a super chat donation, or you can support this work by becoming a paid member. You'll see all the people in chat tonight who are members. Also, you can support this work by going to my Etsy shop and buying one of my artworks or one of my crystals. Thank you so much, you guys. Much love to you, Nikki B. Yeah, we're all trying to have this positive shift. Yeah, running 4 techniques, Indigo. Wow, brother. Christos Avatar, my dear friend, Sir Mandism, it's okay to disagree sometimes. I agree. I agree that we can disagree. This is what I feel. We can disagree and still be friends. Still love each other. Because there's some people that I know that I respect and love very much, even though we don't agree on everything. And some people who used to be part of the group couldn't still be friends. You know, like some people still on the fence with this group or Terahertz. I'm not replacing Ashana. Nobody is. What I'm saying is a lot of those people on that side are very negative and criticizing of other people. I just experienced that recently. Some people from the past coming up to the present and still in the same freaking negative energy as they're saying they're Christic and part of the Emerald Order teachings. They're still behaving non-judgmental, still being negative and twisted. I said judgmental, but you see that pattern. Just like it was a year ago, it's the same thing, dude. You just transmute those people out of your life. You just put boundaries on those people. They don't get it, and that's fine. So what Sir Madism says, that's true, you guys. We can agree to disagree on certain things. And I say that before in my lives that some of you might not agree with everything I say, but you're still here because there's things that you do. You know that my heart is coming from, honesty, integrity. And I make it part of my purpose as Christos Avatar channel to be as accurate as I can with what these teachings are saying and not adding my own personal stuff. Now, when I teach differently than Ashiana teaches. She's much more calm person than I am. She has that lovely female energy. I don't. But I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am, but I teach in a different way. I have more electrical energy. I'm a guy. You'll see more of that. I'm not perfect. I want to have more balance, and I want to be able to not be raising my voice when I do. And I've said that before, so that's something that I'm working on. And so, but I think some people appreciate my presentation. But some people, they don't like my hair. They don't like my shirts. They don't like that I'm an old man or old dude or something. I'm not pretty like, what's her name? Teal Swan. I'm not some feminine, pretty spiritual leader like Teal Swan. I'm just old dude. I've had people say that. I'm not going to watch some old dude, Gandalf dude. I've seen those comments. They're not one of my 450,000 subscribers, and that's okay. So, but that's a very powerful lesson to learn. We can still agree to disagree and love each other, be friends still. But if they're diametrically opposed, we probably won't be such friendly friends after all. If there's someone who will not change from teaching Luciferian doctrines, I probably will not be doing interviews with them or, making friendly emails with them. But this whole idea of loving everyone really needs to be all of our lesson, which is very hard to do on 3D planet Earth. It's hard to love everyone, but that is something as a guardian we do. We strive. We strive to work on it, work on omni love, keep on trying to love everyone and not be triggered, not be going into old character traits that I don't even like anymore about my old self. I don't like some of that anger I used to have. It wasn't towards people. It was mostly almost always about computer-related stuff. I would get so pissed off. I don't get pissed off anymore. But I would get so, I would hit things, punch things, curse. Man, I recognize that energy a mile away. And when I see it creep in me, I shut it down. I stop it. I stop myself. I do my best to recover. Nope. Sorry. No, thank you. That was my old self. And we all can do that. We all can recognize our old self pop up. So I love you guys. And we don't have to agree on everything and still hang out and be friends and still have reverent respect, which is, by the way, just want to remind you all, and I didn't say y'all, that's one of my pet peeves. I do not like it when people say y'all. It's a hillbilly cowboy thing. I see a alfalfa coming out of your mouth, y'all. Hey, I love you. If you say y'all, I still love you, homie. Okay, you all. I love you all. Every one of you. Even if, humans can have bad moods. We can be jerks. But the whole point is to, we're always doing manifestation work. And one of the things I see, I keep on practicing on. I see a very peaceful Christic avatar, very mellow, but still very articulate. But you will see the light shining in my eyes and my face and my energy. Eventually, I'll get there. So I just want to thank all of you for your patience with me. Some of you have been with me for a couple of years. Thank you for going through all that. You remember when I used to do all my lives when I was high? What the F? They're still on there. You can go see some of my old lives. I was just stoned the whole time. No, I outgrew that. Now I just do it every great once in a while at the end of the show, right? It's better to be alert and have the information flowing. Just flows. No stuttering. I'm not pausing uncomfortably. It just comes out, baby. What's up? Thank you, guys. And this is day 2 of my fast. I didn't eat anything yesterday. I'm not going to eat anything today. I will maybe do a 3rd day, but I sometimes think 2 days is enough. But if I'm feeling heroic, I will do 3 days or more. And I encourage you guys to do fasting every now and then, because it's part of our path to transmute a lot of, having your digestive system running every day, 2 or 3 times a day is not you can go into greater spiritual awarenesses when you stop eating. When a dog gets hurt or sick, it stops eating. It knows naturally. We forgot that naturally. To go into meditation, to go into fasting. So every now and then I see myself indulging too much, eating too much. What the F? Snacking too much? Okay, let's fast. I'm fasting. Thank you, guys. Machiwa. Hopefully, dude, 1 day of fasting, I lost 4 pounds from yesterday. I lost 4 pounds. I know some of that is probably water weight, but I still lost 4 pounds from not eating. I'm like, look at the scale. I'm like, what the shit? 178. I woke up today after fasting, 174. So that gives me motivation to keep going. I'm not doing it for weight loss, but it's a nice side effect. It's a nice side effect of spiritually fasting, because that's what it is. It's a spiritual energy thing. So, bless you guys. Thank you for all those who are part of this regular community coming together. Machiwa holy ones. Love to and respect to all of you. Thank you for hanging with us and talking about fallen angels. And I will be making more cool pictures of what these beings really look like. So, and I'm still working behind the scenes. I'm almost finished with my first Emerald Order teaching video, which goes into the mechanics, the spiritual mechanics, talking about particle and morphogenetic fields and crystal bodies and all that kind of stuff. But we'll get past that part. But you need it in your system. You need to be understanding what these words are. Why is it called Keylontic science? Because there's something called Keylon codes. And what we're doing is bringing in more Keylons, more Keylon codes, homies. Some from our morphogenetic field of our density 5 level, some from our parallel self. Thank you guys. Bless you. Shot. Oop, I need a drink of water. Shaddai Urea Kuntan. Shaddai Urea Kuntan. Shaddai Urea Kuntan. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am Christ star. I am Christ star. I am Christ star. You guys make up your own affirmations. There's no reason why you can't make your own. Like I always create new ones all the time. I am Christos Avatar. I am Christos Avatar. I am Christos Avatar. And it's good to close your eyes and visualize. Or keep your eyes open and visualize too. You can still visualize something with your eyes open. I can look into your eyes, but I'm visualizing something too. So this is how people can cast spells on you while they're talking to you. That's not what I'm doing. Shaddai Ure, baby, what's up? Om Eda Ipatuma. Om Eda Ipatuma. Patuma E Deita Umkum. You know, you say the whole frame. I mean, you can say it just like you're talking. Try ti la e durum na. Try, you know, it's easier to sing it. Omeda I patuma. Omeda I patuma. Patuma he deita he kumna. Om Eda I Patuma, Om Eda I Patuma, Patuma E Deita E Kumna. Om Eda I Patuma. So then it goes into another verse. Tre ti la iderna, tre ti la iderna, Durma he kem ta he kumna. Tre ti la I Durham na. Tre ti la I Durham na. Durma e kem ta inkum. It's easier to sing it, so I just sing it, baby. And you can just sing it all day, all night. Just learn one of the songs. Learn the song of Orion. Learn the song of Lyra. Learn Shaddai Ure Akuntan. And just bring in more kilons into your particle grid, homie. Your auric field is going to grow. Machiwa. Gotta love ya. Omni love, baby. Omni Christos love. And there's going to be fawn angel activity. And there's going to be guardian light activity, homies. We're going to shed all of our distortions. And we're going to all be these amazing Christos avatars. We're going to be a community of Christic beings. We're going to shed all our distortions. We're going to make it a goal. That's our group goal. That's our group homework. We're going to shed more and more distortion, become more and more enlightened and knowledgeable, and more experiences in the techniques. Thank you guys. Good night. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Namaste. Aho. Machiwa, Masutas, Makaya, Chikas, Masur. I can do light language even though I'm not on weed or something. It's such a grace, such a gift to see these higher levels of yourself. It's very sacred experience. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon. See you on Saturday. Check out my videos. What's up, homies? I always like to put that in chat. Let's put that in chat. Omni Christos love. Omni. That means love all. Omni Christos love. Machiwa. Hashtag Machiwa. Hashtag Omni love. Spread it. Good night, holy ones. And you are holy.